The alien girl was known across the colony for her endless mischief. She came from a powerful race, taller than most humans. With glowing silver eyes and strange patterns on her skin, the colony children both feared and admired her because she could bend steel rods with her bare hands, jump across rooftops, and run faster than any human guard. But instead of using her gifts for good, she loved to cause trouble every morning. When humans worked hard to keep the colony running, she would sneak around and play her tricks. Sometimes she switched off the power systems just to watch people panic. Sometimes she scattered tools in the engineering bay, making the workers trip and stumble. And sometimes she would laugh loudly while mocking humans for being slow and weak. To her, it was a game, a way to prove that she was untouchable. The elders of her alien kind had sent her to live among humans to learn discipline. But she ignored their orders. She believed no one could control her, not even her own people. She was young, clever, and fearless. Her heart burned with pride, and her sharp tongue spared no one. One day, the girl decided to create a bigger scene. The human children were gathering for their daily lessons, and she walked straight into the classroom. Her long silver hair swung behind her as her eyes sparkled with mischief. Without warning, she lifted the teacher's datapad and tossed it out the window. The children gasped. Some laughed nervously, but most stayed silent. The alien girl smirked and crossed her arms. "Why do you follow these boring rules?" she asked. Her voice was bold. "Humans waste time with numbers and books. Strength decides who is better, not these little lessons." The teacher trembled, afraid to argue with her. The children looked at each other. Some of them admired her courage, but others felt afraid. For too long, she had been allowed to do whatever she wanted. Later that same day, her mischief grew worse. She sneaked into the supply area, where precious food and water were stored. With a sly smile, she began moving containers, hiding them behind walls and crates. When the workers arrived, they found chaos boxes missing, labels switched, and alarms ringing. Everyone shouted and ran in confusion. The alien girl climbed high above them, laughing as if it was the funniest thing in the world. But not everyone was amused. Some humans whispered that her behavior was dangerous. If food supplies were ruined, the entire colony could suffer. Yet no one dared to stop her. They remembered how strong she was, how fast she could strike. They remembered the stories of those who had tried to confront her, and how they ended up embarrassed in front of everyone. The colony leaders met in secret. They knew the girl could not continue like this, but who would stand against her? Soldiers had strength, but they lacked patience. Teachers had wisdom, but they lacked courage. They needed someone different, someone who could face her without fear. Meanwhile, the alien girl roamed the colony freely. She climbed towers, broke small machines for fun, and shouted down at humans. Her laughter echoed through the metallic streets. To her, humans were too serious, too fragile, too weak. She thought she was above them all, yet deep inside, there was something missing. She did not admit it, but sometimes, when she sat alone under the alien moonlight, she felt restless. Her mischief gave her attention, but not peace. She longed for something more. Though she could not name it, that night, as the stars shimmered above, she planned her next act of trouble. She wanted something bigger, something that would shake the humans completely. She wanted to see fear in their eyes, because that made her feel powerful, she whispered to herself, her silver eyes glowing. "Tomorrow, I will show them they can never control me." But in the shadows, a pair of human eyes watched her, calm and unafraid. This was not a soldier, not a leader, but a quiet engineer who had seen enough. He knew the colony could not survive if her behavior continued. He knew she needed discipline, not from fear, but from truth. The alien girl did not know it yet, but her world was about to change. The next day would not go as she planned. For the first time in her life, someone would dare to stand against her. The next morning, the alien girl walked proudly through the colony streets. Her silver eyes gleamed with mischief, and her long steps carried the confidence of someone who feared nothing. She had planned another day of tricks, another day of chaos. Her heart beat fast with excitement. She wanted the humans to feel helpless again. She wanted to laugh at their confusion. But today, something was different. The air felt heavier, as if the colony itself was holding its breath. The workers moved quickly, whispering to each other. Some pointed toward the main square. The alien girl narrowed her eyes and followed the crowd. In the middle of the square stood a new face. A man dressed not in soldier armor, but in a simple engineer's uniform. His clothes were dusty. His hands carried the marks of hard work. He was tall but not towering, strong but not showing off. His eyes were calm, steady, and sharp. He looked at the machines around him, then at the people, and finally at the alien girl. She tilted her head and smirked. Who is this weak human? She thought. Unlike others, he did not look away. He did not tremble. He simply stood there with quiet strength. The colony leader stepped forward, clearing his throat. This is Elias, he announced. A human engineer. He has worked in the harshest colonies, fixing power grids, building life support, and guiding teams through danger. From now on, he will help maintain discipline here. The alien girl laughed loudly. Her voice rang across the square. Discipline? From him. You bring me a builder of machines, not a fighter. How will he stop me? With his little tools. Some humans looked away, ashamed. Others glanced at Elias, wondering how he would respond. But Elias did not react to her mockery. He simply bent down, picked up a broken piece of machinery from the ground, and began repairing it right there. His hands moved with confidence. Sparks flickered, and in a few minutes, the machine whirred back to life. The people gasped softly, even the alien girl's smile weakened for a moment, but she quickly crossed her arms. So what? Machines obey you, but I do not, she said coldly. Elias finally raised his eyes to her. His voice was calm but firm. Machines break when left to chaos. People suffer when rules are ignored. Even you, one day, will understand that. The alien girl's chest tightened. No human had ever spoken to her like that. Not with fear, not with anger, but with steady certainty. She felt something strange, like a challenge. Later that day, she decided to test him. She sneaked into the engineering bay where Elias was working. The place smelled of oil and metal. Sparks danced in the air as he tightened bolts and checked circuits. She grinned and moved a tool from the table, hiding it behind her back. Elias did not even look up. He said, "Return it." She froze. What? Without stopping his work, he repeated, "Return it." You think no one notices your games? But I do. Bring it back. For the first time, her smirk faltered. She slowly placed the tool back, trying to appear casual. You are not like the others. She whispered. No, Elias said, finally meeting her eyes. I am not. The silence between them was heavy. The girl felt a strange heat in her chest. She wanted to argue, to mock him again. But the words would not come. She stormed out, her silver hair flashing behind her. The next day, she tried again. This time, she shut down a power grid to create panic. Lights flickered across the colony. Alarms rang. People shouted in fear. But Elias did not run like the others. He walked straight into the darkness with a toolkit in his hand. His steps were steady, his face calm. He repaired the system quickly, then stood in front of the alien girl, who was watching from above. Enough games, he said. His voice echoed in the night. Do you understand what could have happened if the life support failed? Children could have suffered. Families could have been lost. Is this what you call fun? The alien girl's smile slowly faded. No one had ever spoken to her with such weight. Her pride burned, but so did her heart. She wanted to shout back, but his words cut deeper than any blade. That night, she could not sleep. She lay awake under the alien sky, thinking of the human engineer, his calm eyes, his steady voice, his refusal to bend before her mischief for the first time. She wondered if she had met her match, but her pride was still strong. "I will break him," she whispered to herself. Her silver eyes glowed with determination. "No human can stand against me for long." Yet deep inside, a seed of doubt had been planted, and seeds, once planted, always grow. The colony woke to another day of work. Humans moved across the metallic streets, carrying tools and equipment, repairing machines, and trading supplies. But there was tension in the air. Everyone whispered about the strange human engineer, Elias, who had dared to stand up to the alien girl. No one had ever done that before, and now the people waited to see what would happen next. The alien girl had not forgotten. Her pride burned like fire. For years, she had ruled the colony streets with her mischief. No human had dared to stop her, but this man had looked her in the eyes without fear. His calm voice still echoed in her mind. She could not let it stand. She needed to prove she was untouchable. That morning, she walked toward the central courtyard, her steps bold. Her silver eyes shone with mischief. Her long hair floated in the breeze as she planned her move. The humans parted to make way for her, afraid of what she might. "Do I?" She spotted Elias working near the power conduit, surrounded by wires and sparks. A sly smile formed on her lips. She climbed onto a high platform above him. Her sharp alien claws scraped lightly against the metal. She picked up a heavy wrench. From a toolbox nearby, her plan was not to hurt him, just to humiliate him. If the tool fell near him, the whole colony would laugh. She would remind everyone that the engineer was just another weak human. But as she leaned forward, ready to drop the wrench, Elias suddenly spoke without even looking up. "If you drop it, you'll regret it." She froze, her heart skipping. How did he know? Slowly, she set the wrench aside and hissed, "You dare to threaten me?" Elias finally raised his head. His eyes were steady, calm as always, not a threat. He said firmly, "A promise." The alien girl's chest tightened with anger. No one had ever spoken to her like that. She leaped down from the platform. Landing with a loud thud, the crowd gasped and stepped back. Her glowing silver eyes locked on Elias. "You think you can stop me?" she demanded. Her voice was sharp. "I am faster than you, stronger than you. You are nothing but a builder of machines." Elias stood his ground. "Strength without control is just destruction," he replied. "And destruction brings nothing but emptiness." Her pride could not bear his calmness. With a sudden motion, she swung her hand toward him, aiming to knock away his tools. But Elias moved quickly. His hand shot out, catching her wrist mid-swing. The sound of the clash echoed through the courtyard. Metal tools clattered to the ground. The entire colony froze. No one had ever touched her like that before. Her glowing eyes widened in shock. She tried to pull away, but his grip was steady, strong, yet not cruel enough, Elias said. His voice was low but firm. "Your games end here." The alien girl's heart raced. Her pride screamed at her to fight back, but her spirit hesitated. Something in his tone, his control, his unshaken will confused her. For the first time in her life, she felt unsure. The crowd whispered. Some humans gasped in disbelief. Others stared in awe. This was the first clash between the untouchable alien girl and the quiet human engineer. And the human had not fallen. With a final pull, she wrenched her hand free. Her face burned with anger and confusion. "This is not over," she spat. Her voice trembled with emotions she could not name. "You will regret standing against me, Elias." Simply bent down, picked up his tools, and returned to his work. His calm silence was louder than any victory speech. The alien girl stormed away, but her steps were uneven. Her heart beat faster than ever. She could not erase the memory of his grip. His eyes, his unshaken stance. For years, she had believed herself untouchable, yet this human had stopped her so easily. That night, she sat alone on a rooftop, staring at the stars. Her mind replayed the moment over and over. She clenched her fists. "I cannot lose to him," she whispered. But another voice inside her whispered something different, something she refused to accept. Maybe he is not weak. The colony below buzzed with new whispers. Humans felt hope for the first time. They believed Elias could finally bring discipline to their lives. But others feared the alien girl would not give up so easily. And they were right. The alien girl's pride was wounded. She could not allow a human to stand above her. Tomorrow, she would strike harder. Tomorrow, she would break him completely, yet deep inside, in the quiet part of her heart, she felt something she had never felt before. Not just anger, not just pride, but curiosity. And curiosity, once awakened, is dangerous. The morning sun rose over the colony, bathing the metallic walls in a soft, golden light. The humans went about their usual work, but the air carried a new kind of tension. People spoke in hushed voices about what had happened the day before. The alien girl had clashed with Elias, the quiet engineer. And for the first time in memory, she had not won. The alien girl walked the streets with her head held high, but her heart burned with shame. Her pride was bruised. The image of Elias gripping her wrist still haunted her. How could a simple human stop her? How could he remain calm when she tried to humiliate him? The thought made her fists tighten. She promised herself she would not allow it to happen again, but Elias was different from the others. He did not avoid her or look at her with fear. He continued his work as if nothing had happened, repairing machines, guiding workers, and bringing order wherever he went. He treated her not as a threat, but as someone who needed correction. That alone made her furious. Later that day, she decided to test him once more. This time, she wanted to break his calm. She sneaked into the hydro plant, where the colony's water supply was carefully maintained. With a wicked grin, she twisted valves and pulled wires. Within moments, alarms blared, red lights flashed, and workers panicked. If the system failed, the colony would lose its clean water. Humans ran in confusion, shouting and scrambling. The alien girl stood proudly on a platform above them. Watching with satisfaction, her silver eyes sparkled with mischief. She wanted to see Elias lose control. She wanted him to shout and fail. But when Elias arrived, his face was calm. He didn't waste a single second on panic. He barked out orders. Guiding workers with steady authority, close that valve, reroute the flow. Stabilize pressure on the left line. His voice was clear and firm within minutes. The chaos turned into organized effort. The alien girl narrowed her eyes. "Why doesn't he stumble?" she muttered. She decided to push further. She yanked a lever, forcing the system to the brink of collapse. Steam burst from the pipes. The ground shook, and workers screamed. Elias turned sharply toward her. His calm eyes burned with a new intensity. He climbed the platform, moving through the steam. When he reached her, his voice cut like steel. "Enough. You've gone too far." The alien girl smirked, trying to hide her sudden unease. "What will you do?" "Scold me like a child." Elias stood tall, his eyes locked onto hers. His voice was low but powerful. "No, I will teach you. Discipline is not cruelty. It is strength guided by responsibility. Without it, your power is nothing but destruction." The alien girl's heart pounded. No one had ever spoken to her this way. His words pierced deeper than any weapon. She tried to laugh, but her voice cracked. "You think you can control me?" Elias stepped closer, his presence overwhelming. "Control? No, but I can hold you accountable." Before she could react, he pulled a control switch. Locking the valves into safety mode, the alarms stopped. Steam hissed softly, and the system stabilized. The humans below cheered, grateful that disaster had been avoided. The alien girl stared at him, her pride trembling. For the first time, she felt powerless, not because he was stronger than her physically, but because he had outmatched her completely with discipline and willpower. Her silver eyes flickered with confusion, anger, and something else she did not want to admit. "Why do you care so much?" she whispered. Elias's voice softened, but it did not lose its strength. "Because lives depend on this colony. Because children depend on these systems. Because your actions have consequences." "You think this is a game, but it's not." The alien girl's chest tightened. His words struck like a hammer. She had never thought about consequences to her. Mischief was power, fun, proof of her superiority. But now she saw the fear in the humans' eyes, the relief in their voices when Elias restored order. For the first time, guilt stirred in her heart, but her pride refused to bow. She crossed her arms and looked away. "You will not change me," she said. Her voice trembled. Elias leaned closer, his words sharp. "You are already changing. You just don't want to see it." She froze. Her heart raced. Was he right? She hated the thought, and yet deep inside, something had shifted. That night, as the colony slept, the alien girl sat alone near the glowing water tanks. Her reflection shimmered on the surface. She remembered his words, his calm strength, his unshaken eyes. She clenched her fists. Why do his words echo in my heart? Her pride told her to fight harder, but another voice whispered quietly within her. A voice she had never heard before. It spoke of respect, of lessons, of something more than power. The next day, the humans gathered again, and this time, the alien girl stood at the edge of the crowd, silent. Her silver eyes no longer sparkled with mischief, but with confusion. The humans watched her carefully, wondering what she would do next, and Elias, standing calmly among them, knew the real battle had just begun. The alien girl did not cause trouble the next morning. She walked through the colony with slower steps. Her silver eyes still glowed, but her mischievous grin was gone. The humans noticed the change. Some whispered that Elias had broken her pride. Others thought it was only an act, but no one could deny that something inside her was shifting. Elias continued his work as usual, repairing broken pipes, guiding teams, and organizing supplies. He did not treat the alien girl as a threat. He did not even speak of her openly. That confused her even more. She had expected him to brag, to claim victory. Instead, he worked silently, as if her rebellion was nothing more than another broken machine to fix. That silence burned her. She followed him secretly, watching from shadows. Why did he not fear her? Why did he not hate her? Why did he look at her with those calm eyes, as if she was someone who could do more than cause chaos? Later that day, Elias called the colony workers to the main square. Machines were failing again. The power system that kept life support running was unstable. If not repaired quickly, the entire colony could be left in darkness. Elias looked at the workers, then turned his eyes toward the alien girl. She was leaning against a wall, arms crossed, pretending not to care. His voice was clear. "You," he said, pointing at her. "You will help me." The humans gasped. Some looked afraid, others shocked. No one had ever dared to assign her a task. But Elias did not blink. His words were final. The alien girl tilted her head. "Why should I?" she asked. Her tone was sharp. "I am no servant to humans." Elias stepped closer, his voice steady. "Because power means nothing without responsibility. You claim strength. Prove it by using it for something greater than your pride." His words cut deep. The alien girl wanted to refuse, but the way he looked at her made her chest tighten. She wanted to show him she was not weak, not a child. Slowly, she stepped forward, "Fine," she muttered, "but only to prove I am better." Then together they entered the power station. The place was alive with humming machines and flickering lights. Sparks snapped in the air as the unstable circuits threatened to collapse. Humans waited nervously outside while Elias and the alien girl approached the main conduit. "Hold this." "Line steady," Elias ordered, passing her a heavy coil. She grabbed it with ease, but frowned. "This is simple," she said. "Is this the great challenge?" Elias looked at her firmly. "It's not about what you can lift. It's about how carefully you hold it. If you fail, the current will surge and burn the entire system." Her eyes narrowed. For the first time, she realized this task was not about brute strength. It required patience, control, and precision. Qualities she had never practiced. Her arms were strong, but the weight shifted dangerously. Sparks danced close to her hands. Her pride screamed at her to laugh it off. But another voice whispered, "If you fail, people will suffer." Elias worked quickly beside her, his movements calm, his instructions sharp and clear. "Steady, breathe slowly. Do not fight the weight. Balance it." Her chest tightened. Sweat formed on her brow. She wanted to drop it, to escape the pressure, but his voice anchored her. His calm tone gave her strength. Finally, with one last adjustment, the system stabilized. The hum of the machines turned smooth. Lights flickered back to full strength. The humans outside cheered. Relief spread through the colony. For the first time, the alien girl stood in the middle of their praise, not as a troublemaker, but as someone who had saved them. She looked at her hands, trembling slightly. Her chest rose and fell. The feeling was strange, unfamiliar. Elias placed a hand on her shoulder, firm but not harsh. "This is responsibility," he said. "This is what real strength means, not destruction, not pride, but protection." Her silver eyes met his. For a moment, she could not speak. Her heart felt heavy, yet light at the same time. Was this what she had been missing all along? That night, she sat on a rooftop, staring down at the glowing colony. She remembered the cheers, the relief in human eyes. She thought of Elias's words. She touched her chest and whispered to herself, "Strength with responsibility. Is this why he never fears me?" But pride still lingered in her heart. She clenched her fists. "I will not be tamed so easily," she said. Yet her voice lacked its old sharpness, deep inside. She knew the truth. Elias had shown her something she could not ignore. The next morning, the humans greeted her differently. Some even nodded with respect. Children peeked from corners with curious eyes. She pretended not to notice, but secretly. Her heart warmed. For the first time, she was seen not as a monster, but as part of something bigger. Still, questions tormented her. Was she truly changing? Or was Elias simply bending her with his strange, unshaken will? She could not decide, but she knew one thing. Her mischief no longer gave her joy. Something else had taken root inside her, a new feeling. A new bond forming in the shadows of her pride. And as she thought of it, her silver eyes softened. Her lips trembled with a whisper. "Why do I care what he thinks?" Asterisk days passed in the colony, and the alien girl's behavior began to change little by little. She was no longer sneaking into restricted areas or shutting down systems for fun. Instead, she followed Elias as he worked, sometimes openly, sometimes. From the shadows, she told herself it was only to watch him fail. But deep inside, she knew that was not true. Every time she saw him working with humans, she felt something she had never felt before. Elias never shouted, never lost control. Yet people listened to him. He had no glowing eyes, no alien strength, but his presence carried weight. Even the colony leaders trusted his judgment. The alien girl often mocked him in small ways, leaving tools in the wrong place or teasing him about being slow. but Elias never reacted with anger. He only gave her a steady look and continued, and strangely, she found herself respecting that calm more than any display of strength. One afternoon, the colony faced another crisis. A storm of razor-sharp dust blew across the settlement, tearing through panels and wires. The shields flickered, and parts of the wall began to collapse. Humans rushed to secure supplies. Fear spread quickly. The alien girl stood on a high ledge, watching the panic. Her old self would have laughed at the chaos, but now her chest tightened. She remembered Elias's words about responsibility. For the first time, she did not want to cause more trouble. She wanted to help. Elias was already in the middle of the storm, guiding workers to safety. His clothes whipped in the wind, but his voice was steady. "Hold the panels. Secure the wires." He commanded when he saw the alien girl. He pointed toward the collapsing wall. "With me." She hesitated, then jumped down beside him. Together they pressed against the metal wall, her alien strength holding it upright while Elias secured the bolts. Dust stung her face. Sparks bit her skin, but she did not let go when the last bolt locked in. The wall steadied, the workers cheered. The alien girl looked at Elias, breathing heavily for the first time. She felt pride, not from mocking humans, but from saving them. Elias gave her a small nod, his voice firm. "Good. You chose to protect instead of destroy." Her chest warmed strangely. She quickly turned away, hiding the sudden color rising in her cheeks. "I only did it because you asked," she muttered. But that night, as she sat under the alien sky, she could not stop thinking about the way he looked at her. Not with fear, not with anger, but with quiet trust. She had never been trusted before. Her people had sent her away for her mischief. Humans had feared her, but Elias, he saw her differently. The bond grew slowly, but it was real. She began to help him more often, carrying heavy loads, repairing parts he could not reach. Elias never praised her with grand words, only a firm nod or a quiet good work. Yet, those simple words made her heart beat faster than she wanted to admit. One evening, as the two of them repaired a damaged generator, she asked softly, "Why do you not fear me like the others?" Elias tightened a bolt before answering, "Because fear does not change people. Truth does, discipline does, and I see more in you than just mischief." Her silver eyes widened. She wanted to laugh, to mock him, but the words stuck in her throat. Instead, she looked away, whispering, "You are a strange human." The next day, children from the colony gathered around her. For the first time, they did not hide in fear. One little boy handed her a small carved toy. "Thank you for helping," he said shyly. The alien girl froze, staring at the toy in her hand. Her throat tightened. No one had ever thanked her before. She glanced at Elias, who stood nearby. His calm eyes met hers, and she quickly looked down, hiding the strange feeling in her chest. But not everything was peaceful. Some humans still distrusted her. They whispered that she was dangerous, that she would betray them again. The alien girl overheard them and felt her pride sting. For a moment, she wanted to lash out, to prove them wrong with anger. Elias placed a firm hand on her shoulder. "Do not waste your strength on their fear," he said. "Prove them wrong. By what you do, not by what you say." His words anchored her again. She nodded slowly, surprising even herself. That night, she lay awake, staring at the stars. Her heart was restless. She thought of Elias's calm voice, his steady hands, the way he looked at her as if she was more than her mistakes. Her fingers tightened around the toy the child had given her. She whispered to herself, "Why does he matter to me?" Her silver eyes shimmered with confusion, pride, and something new, something she had never felt before. And though she did not admit it out loud, the truth was clear. The mischievous alien girl was no longer the same. She was changing, not through force, but through an unexpected bond that had begun to grow between her and the human engineer. But bonds are fragile, and not everyone wanted it to survive. The colony had changed, and so had the alien girl. The humans no longer looked at her only with fear. Some still whispered doubts, but others nodded with quiet respect when she walked past. Children even smiled at her, offering greetings. For the first time, she felt something she had never known: belonging. But pride is a stubborn thing, and inside her heart, the battle was not over. She still carried the memory of her old ways, the thrill of mischief, the taste of rebellion. Sometimes at night, she wondered if her new behavior was only weakness, if she was becoming too much like the humans she once mocked. Elias saw the conflict in her eyes. He did not speak of it, but he knew. That evening, as they walked side by side through the colony, he finally said, "You stand between two paths. One is the path of chaos. The other is the path of strength through responsibility. You must choose. No one else can do it for you." Her silver eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. "And if I choose wrong?" she whispered. Elias stopped, turning to face her. His calm voice carried weight. "Then you lose yourself. You will have strength, yes, but it will be empty. You will never find peace." His words struck deep. She hated how much they mattered. To her, she hated that his opinion had become the anchor in her storm. But at the same time, she could not imagine turning away from him. The test came sooner than expected. A warning siren screamed through the colony. Red lights flared across the walls. A transport ship had crashed outside the shield, and fire spread quickly through the wreckage. Humans rushed to respond, but the flames were fierce, and the hull was unstable. Without hesitation, Elias grabbed his toolkit and ran toward the disaster. The alien girl followed. Her heart pounded. At the crash site, humans were trapped inside the burning wreck. Metal beams blocked the way, and the flames threatened to consume everything. The alien girl stepped forward, lifting the beams with her alien strength. Sweat poured down her face. Fire licked at her arms, but she held firm. Elias crawled into the wreckage. Guiding the trapped humans out, one by one, the two of them worked together like they had done it all their lives, strength and discipline, chaos and control, finally moving as one. The crowd cheered as the last survivor was pulled free, but before relief could settle, the wreck groaned dangerously. A final explosion ripped through the hull. The alien girl shoved Elias aside, shielding him with her own body as the blast threw her back into the dirt. Dust and smoke filled the air. The humans cried out. Elias rushed to her side. Her silver skin was burned, her glowing eyes dimmed. But she was alive. She forced a weak grin. "See? I can be responsible too." Elias looked at her, his calm breaking for the first time. His voice was fierce. "You risked your life for me?" She coughed lightly. "Not just for you. For them." Her eyes flicked toward the rescued humans. "I never wanted to admit it, but care." The humans gathered around. Some knelt beside her, offering water and aid for the first time. She saw no fear in their eyes, only gratitude in that moment. Something inside her heart broke free. The mischievous alien girl who once thrived on chaos was gone. In her place stood someone new, someone stronger. Later, when she recovered, the colony held a gathering. The leaders praised her bravery. Children clapped their hands, and the people offered her food and gifts. The alien girl stood quietly, her pride replaced with something deeper: humility. Elias stepped forward, placing a hand on her shoulder. His voice was steady. "You have changed. You are no longer just a girl who causes mischief. You are someone who understands what strength truly means." Her silver eyes softened. Her voice was quiet. "You were the one who changed me. You gave me discipline when I needed it most." The humans around them cheered, but she barely heard. Her heart was racing for another reason. She looked at Elias, and for the first time, she realized the bond between them was more than respect, more than discipline. It was trust. It was something deeper. Something she was not ready to name, but could no longer deny. That night, under the alien stars, she sat beside Elias. The colony was quiet. Fires extinguished, machines humming peacefully. She whispered, "I used to think strength meant being untouchable, feared, but now I see. True strength is protecting what matters, even if it costs you everything." Elias gave a rare smile, "And that lesson makes you stronger than you ever were before." She turned her face toward the stars, her silver eyes glowing gently. 4. The first time, her heart felt at peace. She was no longer the mischievous alien girl. She was something great, as someone reborn through discipline, trust, and an unexpected bond. And though her journey was only beginning, one thing was certain: she would never be the same again.